Hey, Goldies. How are you ladies doing? Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I wanted to have um, a little conversation, okay, regarding uh, some advice that kind of has been floating around the environment, okay. And I wanted to create an atmosphere for us to kind of discuss this and talk about it. Um, I'm going to put the link in the chat now. If anybody wants to come up and join, just participate in active dialogue, you are welcome to. If you feel more comfortable in the chat, feel free to stay there and make your presence known. You're going to be very sad when I leave. Leave where? Where I'm going, girl? When I leave where? You talking about going back to work? I'm only gonna be there for like 3 weeks, and then I'm gonna be off for a while. Um, so yeah, it's important to me that I go back though, just for these few days, just to get everything straight. So that's what I really want to do, and I'm happy that I have the ability to make that choice. Yeah, back to work. Hey, Kimberly Brown. Yes, girl. I saw your other message and I set that video for tomorrow at 1 p.m. Okay. So we'll be talking about the coming winter. Okay. The freezing cold that's about to approach us and how we can prepare for it. If you girls have been a member of um, the group I've spoken vaguely about, you would have gotten access to this plan I created um, around the end of June. Yeah, the end of June. But luckily tonight, I'm going to talk about a little bit of it. Ever since this little petition stuff has taken off, um, I removed that book from my uh, website and I took it off of um, Amazon Prime. You know what, Gigi? I'll email you, okay? Because I love that environment. I love that space, and I don't want it to get ugly. Okay. But I was speaking to some of the ladies in the group that really give good advice and really have like um just great experience, and we're interested in opening like a ladies lounge where we can kind of talk about relationships and stuff like that. And once we create that or cultivate that, more intimate environment there, then if you are interested in the other space, then we can make the transition then. But if you are on the YouTube channel and you're interested in like taking conversations off of YouTube, let me know. You can email me at GoldieJones1205 and I will send you the link to the new group. Okay. Um, they are private, okay, because we don't need any trolls, okay. But if you're interested in that, let me know and we can get that started for you. We just really like to have great conversation and share experience and knowledge and really prepare each other for the next steps. I actually just read a post in the group and I am so moved by this post. This young lady talked about all of the things that she had incorporated from a post way back from like a year ago. She had a comprehensive list of all of this stuff that she had written down and actionable steps that she had taken to accomplish those goals. And she just updated the whole space about her progress. And I was so moved. Oh my goodness. Um, these spaces are really good for women who are interested in doing the work. And doing the work is self-improvement. Okay, one thing that I have been seeing a lot of is that a lot of women feel that they aren't good enough today. Okay, just because you aren't perfect or you haven't achieved all your goals don't mean it doesn't mean that you aren't good enough today. Okay, now you can be better, but you are still worthy, you are still valued, you are still eligible today. you know so I like all my ladies to think in terms of their current value and continue to work towards future goals and getting things accomplished and improving ourselves. But even in this moment, in all of your flaws and all of that stuff, you are still worthy. Okay, Goldie. Okay, you are still worthy and you can still have the life you desire today, um, while you are on the journey to being that more perfect woman that you have envisioned for yourself. Okay, it all starts in the mind. I tell my ladies that all the time. It all starts in the mind. So is a man, where as a man thinketh, so is he. You are eligible to receive what it is, whatever it is you believe you can receive. That's one of the issues that I have with a lot of the advice that I hear in the dating world. They make women think that you aren't eligible for this, that, or the other. And if you think you are eligible for, if you think that you are worthy to receive it, if you feel that you are valuable enough to have it, you can have it. Okay? Nobody can tell you no. Okay? The only person who can tell you no is yourself. All right? If you believe that mess that other people spread about whatever their insecurities are, then their insecurities will define your life and handicap you. All right. You are the captain of your own ship. Okay. You are the master of your own soul. Okay. So you can have whatever you want. Anyway, I heard this advice last night. Okay. For anybody who also heard this advice, please chime in. But um a relationship guru, okay, um instructed women that we need to be prepared to have to be ready to be intimate by date 3. Okay? Hold on for 1 second. Okay. I'm back. This relationship guru said that you need to be ready for intimacy by date 3. And I was tripping when I heard this because this wasn't the first time that this person has said this. And um exactly, put the ring on it, okay? Um so this wasn't the first time that I had heard this person say this, and I was just so surprised that they doubled down on like really terrible advice. Um and I was hoping that a lot of women didn't internalize it, but I don't know. So that's why I'm speaking on it, okay? Um I want to talk about a little bit about casual sex, the realities of casual sex. Okay. I spoke a little bit about the guide that I made, and every time I go through this guide, I mean, more gems just pop out to me. This guide is amazing. Okay. Excuse me. But the thing is that it's not for sale anymore. Once everything calms down and my life goes back to normal, then I will put my merchandise back on my website and back on Amazon. I don't want to be accused of trying to sell or promote my stuff, okay? So when things go back to normal, then I'll put my book back out there for sale. But today we're just going to talk a little bit about it, okay? So yeah, the thought, okay, the realities of casual sex, okay? Guys will trick you to believe that sex is so important in their decision making when it comes to if they are going to take a woman seriously for a relationship, a long-term relationship, if they will make a commitment to you, right? A lot of times you'll hear guys saying stuff like, I gotta try it out first. I gotta know if it's good first. Thanks for this, because if more women embrace this frequency of the planet goes up overall. Yes, okay. Let me calm down because I'm all excited, and I really want to relax a little bit. But yeah, like the frequency of the planet would go up overall if women really understood that a good man, a real man, wants some really simple things from a woman. Okay. Your beauty is the cherry on top. And I always remind my goldies to focus on their looks, look good, like cultivate a beautiful appearance. Okay. That's important. It matters a lot. It's very important. Okay. But it's not the only thing. It's the one thing that kind of catches the guy's attention. But if you are not typically attractive, right? You still have strategies available to you to catch this guy's attention. All right. We talk about these things in that private group because men don't need to know all of our business. Okay. They don't need to be all up in our stuff. But there are ways that even the lesser attractive of us can still um catch the attention of those more attractive, higher quality guys, right? Um, and once those higher quality guys notice a few specific things in you, it doesn't matter if you look like Beyonce or if you don't, right? They are captivated and enthralled by the gems that they found inside of you. Okay. Um, I don't really subscribe um to the whole I don't want to be offensive, okay? And I'm learning that I have to choose my words so carefully, okay? But I don't think that it's necessary to state how valuable you are up front, okay? I think that a quality marriage minded man will be able to pick up your value um, off of detecting these specific things inside of you, okay? We'll talk a little bit more about that. But one of the things that really shows, hey, um, woke Gigi, just y'all please email me. Just email me again tonight if you can, okay? Just so that it can be at the top of my email list because I want to get us all together, okay? Cassandra, if you're here, Imuna, if you're here, and Cherie, Dani, if you're here or you hear this video, y'all please email me so that we can get um I want us all to come together and do a little chit chat. But anyway, um so if the guy can pick up these things in you, then you can hook him in a way that like no other girl, no matter how fine she is, will be able to get his attention. Okay? Thank you so much, woke. A lot of us feel like our relationship prospects are hinged upon how how beautiful we are. Okay? You only need to look your best, whatever your best is. Okay. I mean, your absolute best. Whatever that is, that's all you need. You don't need to be the Beyonce. Just be the best you. Okay. On the outside and possess this, this, I got to think of a name for it, but a captivating character that speaks volumes for yourself. And the rest is like taking candy from a baby, okay? That's how easy these men are once they find these gems inside of you. So anyway, when we talk about the realities of casual sex, these guys will make you think that they want you to have sex, early on. Of course, the guys, thank you so much, Gigi. Of course, the guys want to try it, right? They want to know what it's like, okay? But that doesn't make them like you. That doesn't make them want you. That doesn't make them want to commit to you. Okay. And conversely, withholding sex for 90 days or 2 years or however long you decide to hold it for also doesn't make them like you or want you or want to commit to you, right? You have to possess some pizzazz. Okay, I'm gonna really come up with a name for it, but you have to possess this pizzazz on the inside that kind of grips them. Okay, so this little belief that giving some up right away will snatch him and keep him close to you is so untrue. And we know if we really think about it and we're honest with ourselves, we know that that's not true, right? Because I'm sure we all have had a little bit of casual sex at some point in time, right? And Guys are really good at the pump and dump culture, okay? They're really good at that friendly type of intimacy where they want to be your friend and um, y'all like little bed buddies, like where y'all just kind of get together, hey, big head after the club type thing. Like they're really good at that. And those like meetups don't really do anything to like um help them see you for who you are. Okay. So anyway, let me get into a little bit of my guide. Okay. Yes, Gigi. I'm happy that you're doing better, girl. Okay. I'm happy that you're doing better. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm happy to read that you're doing better. I'm gonna share my screen and um this is an excerpt from the guide that I created. Okay, the guide. Um, this guide is really intended to help frame your dating. Okay, to kind of put every piece of dating into perspective, and then it kind of helps you consider all options. All right. In the beginning of this plan, it helps you to develop the mindset. It kind of shows you where you can like be seen, to find higher quality guys or to be in the atmosphere of higher quality guys. And it just goes through so many different phases. I will share more about this book little by little. It's not very long. It is like an e-guide. But again, like I was saying, I don't want to be accused of clout chasing or trying to sell anybody anything. So that's why I've I've taken it off of sale for right now. But when things calm back down and if someone is interested in purchasing it, then you'll know a little bit about it and I will consider letting my baby go to you. Okay. But this is my baby. And I don't want 50 dusties. Okay. Because y'all know these dusties be lurking. I don't want 50 dusties getting my book and then doing 90 million videos on it. Girl, no, I'm not leaving YouTube. I just got here. I just got here. Y'all help me. Girl, woke. Okay, he can't help himself. He just be saying stupid stuff. But y'all help me get to 1,000 subscribers. I got like 400 more to go. So if y'all find any value in my videos, share them, okay, and encourage people to subscribe. Of course, I don't want to stay at 600 subscribers forever, but I appreciate everybody who has supported me thus far and really find value in my conversation. That's really what it's about for me. And I have been speaking to ladies for probably like the last 2 years, well, maybe like year and a half in my space. And my area is about my focus is on relationships and dating and things like that. Like that's kind of what I talk about daily with the ladies. Your appearance and questions and all of this stuff. Okay. So I want to talk more about that and share strategy and all of that. Like, I want to get back into my niche, like what I do. But for the next few days, I still do have to address the dusties a little bit. And like I was saying in one of the comments, the girls in my the ladies in my space, like we would not even be looking twice at these men. Okay. I'm sure they wondering, like, Goldie, what are you doing? Why are you talking to them? Because like we aim for like a higher quality guy. Now, a higher quality guy doesn't necessarily mean a rich guy, right? Of course, we all would love a billionaire, right? A gazillionaire, cajillionaire, right? But my ladies are generally focused on guys with like billion-dollar character, okay? Guys with like something, some real something significant, substantial to themselves that money can't buy. Okay. Now we don't want nobody that is broke, okay, but character and who you are at your core, like those things really matter. What your values are really matter. So even if you were that billionaire, but you are a womanizer, my girl wouldn't want you. You know, it's beyond the money. She wouldn't want a womanizer because a womanizer wouldn't be able to honor her and any potential children that she could bear for him in a significant way. Um, so it transcends money. But my ladies are really interested in higher quality guys. And it's more than just the money aspect, although money is important. Okay. Um, you know what, Kimberly, let's see. Oh, oh, girl. Well, you know what? I'm sending you some love and some hugs, Kimberly, okay? Because I know it can be hard raising these children by ourselves and stuff. And one thing I want to talk more about, I'll talk about it tomorrow. I think was it Kimberly? Was it you? Yeah, I'll talk more about it tomorrow. It is. It's such a peaceful space, Gigi. Oh my goodness. I wish I could like hug all the girls, but we virtually hug all the time just with conversation and stuff. But I am going to talk more about identifying a good guy. Like that's really what we need to really begin discussing. Is not so much of how you can improve yourself and what you need to fix or why you're ineligible, but really how we can identify a worthy candidate, like a worthy guy. Do we know what he looks like? Do we know what he's interested in? Do we know what he thinks about or reads or whatever? That's really what we need to be focused on while you are um, on your journey to becoming the best woman that you have envisioned for yourself. You also need to know what a husband looks like. Okay. You also need to know what a husband looks like. All right. So let's get into it a little bit. Okay. So when I started writing this book, um, the basketball thing had just taken off, kind of the playoff stuff. And I don't really know what I'm talking about in terms of the sports aspect of it, but I think that it's like a game plan. So it's kind of centered in um, basketball with like um, the playoffs and all of that stuff. So the game time phase is very early on. Okay, it's like one of the first phases of the plan. Let me see if I can get in there and go over it. Hold on for 1 second. Okay, so we have the preseason, and that's kind of where you begin to work on your mentality, where you begin to think about, where you can be in the same environment with those kind of guys that you would be interested in. Um, Online options, what type of places you can visit online to meet these guys or be in their environment so that they can meet you. Okay. Um, and then like practical options where you can be day to day and or even have conversations with your friends and family, right? Because those people can also connect you with higher quality guys, right? And then we have the regular season where we do our first dates and our preliminary vetting. Kimberly will get into some preliminary vetting tomorrow, okay? But the
It's 1 o'clock.
standards and expectations, and what to do once you get the guy just interested in you, okay? Um, and then we have the tournament, the final round, the playoffs with the championship game, and then we have the road to the ring, okay? And this plan, it really takes about 6 months of application to complete. But after 6 months or so, you you should have a ring. Like if you follow the steps, like he will be begging you to be with him. So when I heard this three date thing, right? In 3 dates, if 3 dates is enough time for you to give up the goods, 3 dates is also enough time for him to provide a ring. Okay. If he isn't interested in providing a ring within 3 dates, then that also means that um then that likely means that he will never give you the ring. Okay. Some people say that you can date for a year or date for 2 years before you know if this guy is interested in marriage or whatever. But let me tell you, guys know really early on if they are interested in you long term. And if they feel that they are ready to be with you within 3 dates, that also means that they know within 3 dates if they see you as their wife. Okay. If they don't see you as their wife in 3 dates, then they won't see you as their wife in 6 dates or 10 dates, right? So, what would be the point in really being, in really considering casual sex with somebody when they are not interested in you long term in 3 dates and likely won't be interested in you 6 dates later after you have engaged in casual sex? Okay. It sets us up to be in a position where we just are kind of giving the goods away, hoping that that your stuff was good enough to latch them on. And in my opinion, the good stuff, quote unquote, is actually attached to his emotion, like his emotions, his emotional core. Guys will lie. Girl, I thought somebody was trolling, but I didn't really read it. When you find him, do you take the weave out or just play it off? No, I keep the weave in. Okay. Okay. I keep the weave in. Okay. Um, so anyway, um, so anyway, what was I saying? So within okay, guys know if they are interested in you really early on. And guys pretend like that they don't have emotions or they don't have feelings. But if you really pay attention to um, how these guys be on the internet whining and like this dude Buck City Kennels Live up in our chat, knowing that we're not talking to him, that's like an emotional like outburst. He's looking for attention. He wants some feminine essence, okay? And a lot of these guys after COVID are craving emotional or feminine essence. Okay. This whole thing about it's getting cold out, it's the winter is coming, and you need to run and grab you a man. Let me tell you, these men are make sure you like the video then, Buck City Kennels, okay? And a lot of y'all men are coming to my channel and y'all not even subscribed to me. Okay, so y'all just over here soaking up my feminine essence and didn't subscribe. Okay, don't be over here just stealing. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. All right. But a lot of these guys, what you say, Jessica, one of the first guys I ever dated asked me over to his house for the third date. I didn't even reply. Right. Why would you do why? Right? Because if he was really interested in a serious way, he would he would commit to a more serious effort or gesture. Okay? Like you'll be able to tell if a guy is interested in long term and really interested in a commitment versus just trying to get some. A lot of these guys are just trying to get some. Um so yeah. So what was I saying? I'm gonna have to stop reading the comments, y'all. After COVID and this whole winter is coming thing, you know, women don't be misled into thinking that you need to be running to find a man because it's a lot of men that are running to find you. They just want you to think that you need to chase them because the more you chase, the more you pursue, the more you're in your what I consider to be desperate energy, the more you'll take low effort, low value experiences with them and may even, like Jessica said, end up at a house date on the third date, right? And a lot of guys kind of test you to see what you will do and where you will go because it's important to them. Guys want to feel safe, they want to feel secure, they want to know that you are something special, and they are going to try you. And if you fall into the trap, the low value lady trap, then you know they discount you. Sure, they will spend time with you, and sure, they will have sex with you, and they'll tell you all of the stuff that you want to hear, but you will never be able to come back from the fact that you displayed that desperate energy. Okay. Guys do not like um, desperate women. They do not like women with low standards. They do not like women without boundaries. I don't care what nobody says. A lot of people are trying to tell women that in order to be feminine, you have to accept everything a man gives you or treats like how he wants to treat you or what he wants to like the way he wants to direct the relationship. And that's not true. What a guy wants is a woman who can stand up for herself in a feminine and polite way. You don't have to cuss him out. You don't have to have an attitude. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be condescending. You don't have to be negative. You don't have to be any of those things. You can tell him no in a very firm way with a lovely smile on your face and femininity um, radiating from your heart, and he will receive that and just be, what do they say, nipping at your heels, trying to like get to you and trying to make you his. Okay, the more you stand in your boundaries, the more you stand by your standards in a polite and feminine way, the more he is ready to chase you. Okay. When you lay down the sex on date three, it's over for him. Not because you gave the sex up, but because you were like very easy, right? You didn't make him go through any obstacle. You didn't make him go through any challenge. You didn't make him work hard. You didn't make him think about you at night. You didn't make him um, call you on his lunch break. Like you didn't make him do anything to get to you, right? So after you've laid out the sex on the third date, he's not gonna then, use the fourth or fifth date to get to know who you are, to get to know what kind of woman you are, to get to know anything else about you, because he's met his immediate goal, right? Okay, so he doesn't need to do any of that stuff anymore. Um, yes, they live in the matrix. And it's a shame because a lot of these men are going to be single listening to Slickback. They are going to be single for a long time and they don't get it because women can choose better treatment than what they want to give. Women don't like to be talked down to, diminished, belittled, disrespected. Real quality women who have done the work and know that they are valued women don't want to sit around trying to make a man see her value or answer that stupid question of what do you bring to the table or be discounted over her wearing makeup or choosing to wear weave one certain day or add extensions to her hair or whatever it may be, right? They want a man that's confident enough to appreciate her beauty and to acknowledge it, right? And to not a man that's healed and healthy enough in order to receive her feminine essence and um not let his insecurities get the best of him, right? A lot of times when they tell you, oh, we like you natural, that means that you look too pretty. And they are afraid that another man is going to come and scoop you up. A truly masculine man, a healed and healthy man that's ready for a real relationship is going to work hard to like keep your attention focused on him. And working hard doesn't necessarily mean spending all his money or letting you walk over him, but it's really just being present on your mind, like um being something for you that no other man can be. Okay. And it's not love bombing and all of that other stuff. Hey, B. Darrell, it's not love bombing and all of that other stuff, but it's real intentional ways where he shows you that he is supporting you and he's behind you, right? And he has your best interest at heart, by listening to what you say and maybe thinking of ways to be supportive of you, okay? Of course, financial support. Thank you so much, Gigi. Of course, financial support plays into that, but there are other ways that he can show you that he's thinking about you and supporting you and interested in seeing you do well. Those guys who say, "Oh, you don't need to go to school," or "Oh, you're too smart," or "Oh, you're too accomplished," or "You're too goal oriented," or "Oh, you want to accomplish too many things." Those are the guys that off top are unhealthy and unhealed, and like they want to diminish you. The guy that you want to focus on is a guy that wants to build you up and kind of grow you and promote you and support you and like cheer you on and be like, baby, you got this, okay? And if you need anything, let me know because I got you, okay? Let me check these comments a little bit. Um, let's see. Thank you, D. Darrell. You know what? And Gigi, they beat us and try to force us into submission because that makes us a low lying target, like a low hanging target, like easy practice. They can come in and get what they want and walk away with no investment. Within 3 dates is very little that you could have invested in me and invested in my future. You don't even really know much about me after 3 dates. But if you can trick me into thinking that if I don't get with you within 3 dates, then I'm gonna miss out on something. Then most women are gonna go ahead and give in because they don't want to miss out, right? But if you can train your mind to think in a polite and sweet feminine way that any man that doesn't want to take time, a month, 2 months, 3 months, to get to know you, to kind of get to understand you before he even lets intimate thoughts cross his mind about you. And if he doesn't do that, then he's the one missing out. Then, of course, you are going to turn the table and flip that energy around and have that guy pursuing you. He's going to want to know what's so special about you, right? Okay. A lot of times, if you take the if you take longer, the truth will come out. I waited for my love for years. Not saying she was the only, but I took time to get to know her and everything about her. Yes. And to some degree I understand when they say older women don't have a lot of time. But the thing is for older women, you need to have done the work in order to know who you are. The only way that you can identify who your husband is if you know who you are as a woman first. And so many of us have not gone on the journey to really self actualize and know who we are and know what we want and know what we're looking for in a man and know what's important to us and really be able to like detect that. And that's how we end up in a lot of relationships that don't really work out or relationships that don't really contribute to our well being or really give us anything, right? Because we haven't done the work to really know who we are, know what we want, know what we want to receive, right? We listen to people like Slickback tell us that it's about your looks, right? Tell us if it's that it's about how agreeable or how much of a doormat you can be. When in reality, it's about you being your best, brightest, and greatest self, okay? Without the attitude though. You can't have a nasty attitude. And I see a lot of women with nasty attitudes, like ill or just mean. And you can tell that okay, if you are struggling to determine if you have a nasty attitude or not as a woman, just think if you are mean to other women, like nasty, condescending, put down other women, if you fight with other women a lot, if you talk down on other women a lot, or think bad thoughts about other women a lot, if you gossip a lot, or just are like rude to other women, then you're also that way with guys. Okay, they can see it. They're not gonna tell you because those guys are just gonna want to use you because you are a pump and dump for them because no guy wants to be with a nasty, bitter woman. So if you find yourself being nasty and bitter with women, then that might be your issue that is repelling guys from you. Guys don't tell you the truth about a lot of stuff because if they don't tell you the truth, that means they get your little cookie in 3 dates. Okay. So the more truth they tell you, the less cookie they get. So they ain't gonna tell you the whole truth, okay? But if you find yourself struggling to have good, meaningful relationships and interactions with other women, then you should know that you have an issue, okay? And that your attitude is what's really repelling not only good men but good women from around you too. When we are talking about finding our husbands, being seen by our husbands and stuff like that, it's not only about being attractive to guys. Like, that's why I don't understand these women that cheerlead for a slick back because they think that saying yes to a man is like the way to get a man to say yes to you. But in reality, um, it's much more than just building a circle of men that pretend to be interested in you. When you have relationships with other women, those women can connect you with other people in social circles and resources that can kind of take you where you want to go, right? These are also women who can vouch for you and vouch for your character. And, they can tell them, like, D. Darrell, I know my girl is a good woman and nobody about to play with her. So, don't be sending no trash her way. Like, they can talk and speak up on your behalf. But if other women have really bad interactions with you and like they really can't speak highly of you or highly of your character, then you have an issue. And y'all have seen that these women will go out their way to put you down. So that's just one thing to think about. And not to mention, if he isn't willing to do any of those things, how interested could he really have been? Right. Okay. And in three dates, he can pretend like he want to do a lot. But if you really require those things of him, you will see he was just trying to get the cooch. Okay. But if you rushing and desperate in 3 dates, you're gonna be pumped and dumped because you haven't been intentional enough about what you were doing. Okay. Oh, we got a statistic. Let's read this. The stereotypical woman of today is very emotional, basically 90% all about relationship. A man wants the other, 10% life finances, good debate, strategy, building a business, things we don't hear. I don't know. Buck City Kennels Live, you need to hit the link because I ain't really understand that too much. Um, And you too, D. Darrell, because I think you know what you be talking about. All right. Let's see. Oh wait, I messed up. I don't know. Y'all saying some good stuff in these comments, but I lost track of where I was. We want a natural woman because we believe the black woman is the most beautiful woman on earth. Then if you really believe that, then allow her to stand in the beauty as she defines it. Okay? I have natural hair and I have an afro, but my husband don't mind if I wear wigs. Like he knows that I got a lot of wigs, okay? And sometimes he come home and see me looking completely different. I would feel some kind of way if he only felt like I was beautiful when I had my afro or my twist out or my braid out or my braids or something. Let me do me, boo, because I know how to make myself fine now, okay? Let me do me, and you just come home and tell me how good I look, okay? You don't gotta dictate to me what looks good, okay? I'm gonna show you what looks good. All right, so I got D Darrell came on up. Hey D, how are you?
What's going on, Queen? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for hitting the link.
Yeah, I was very interesting topic. I think that's definitely something that needs to be discussed, particularly with all the different topics running around. And um, you know, I've been in this space for a while, and you hear a lot of people coming up with different things in regards to this particular situation as far as when is the right time to have sex.
Mhm.
What's you have these guys in the space such as Ramil talk about pumping and dumping and what's supposed to be done and so forth. And you know, my thing is that when it comes to that, I mean, I'm I just look at it from this perspective. Is I'm kind of some way intrigued at the age of the men that actually talk about this particular topic. I would think this is a topic for guys in their early 20s or something like that. You got 30, 40, 50-year-old men
Mhm.
that have had multiple shows on this topic in itself. And it is actually kind of funny. It's a little bit hilarious, but I do think is that you know um when you look at that, um many women that I have observed just from a professional standpoint, and that struggle with this, or as far as this, or what's considered being promiscuous or not.
Mhm.
you know what I encourage women to do is to be comfortable in yourself first,
Mhm.
and what you want for yourself, and whatever that time frame or whatever you're comfortable with, you pretty much communicate that to that person
Mhm.
uh, as you get to know them. And if you are not, if that person is not okay or comfortable with that, then that's obviously not the person for you.
Mhm.
I see that. Um, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You don't have to have sex with a man to keep him. I
Mhm.
mean, I think that interested. I think that you have to, as a woman, or it's important for you to, and what I would say, express and show all the positive aspects of yourself, so the guy can understand the totality of who you are, as far as if this is somebody I want to be with, and not just focus it on the physicality. Although for men, we do understand that physicality is important, because that's, for men, we are very visual, and we do, that's the first thing we see. But at the same time, I do understand when we relate to some of these things, is that, and this is one reason why I've kind of stopped talking to certain content creators that talk about these issues, because they focus too much, in my opinion, on trade-offs.
Mhm.
The trade-off of, if I do this, then you do this. If you do this, then I'll do this. It's I don't hear anything in regards to the tangibles that would transform that interaction into a long-term relationship. I don't hear people talking about their interests, their compatibility,
Mhm.
commonalities.
Mhm.
Um, I think one of the things that I talk about with women, professionally and so forth, in my profession, is that I encourage women not to have sex with men who don't envision themselves being fathers. You need to know what this guy's perception of fatherhood is,
Mhm.
and is he family orientated, or if that's what he wishes to do.
Mhm.
And to be honest with you, when I speak to a lot of women, as far as my clients,
Mhm.
um, in their early 20s, even late 20s,
Mhm.
when I talk to them about what is important for being with a man, they never mention this. They always mention, um, things as far as, and I'm not saying these things are not important
Mhm.
as it relates to economics.
Mhm.
Uh, are they ambitious? Are they looking to want to, the materialistic things, as far as wanting the cars, the house, and things like that? They talk about religion,
Mhm.
his religious values and so forth. But
Mhm.
they never talk about how this person perceives fatherhood,
Mhm.
or being a father. What do you think being a father is? How would you treat your children? How
Mhm.
would you you know participate with me in co-parenting? Well, not necessarily if you're together, you're not co-parenting, but just parenting as a team.
Yeah.
And to me, I feel like that, to me, should be closer to the top of the list than some of these other things, because if you are going to be sexual with someone, you not know why would you have sex with someone if you don't know how they are going to respond if you become pregnant, or because that happens. That's, and to me, it baffles me how we have people who have sex without never thinking that I'm not getting pregnant. Like this is not potentially, like, it's oops. It's no, it's this, they can't be oops when you're a an adult. I'm not saying, of course, things happen, but if you are being with someone like that, you should be comfortable enough to understand if that happens, then this is a person that's going to be there. This is a person who is going to be supportive of you, the child, and is going to be family minded. If guys are not showing that, if they're not necessarily articulating that, or
Mhm,
even being assertive and letting you know that,
mhm,
then a lot of times these guys are not family orientated, and this is the reason. I think this is, I look at at the black community as a whole. We have done a poor job of reinforcing that to young black men,
mhm,
and that's why a lot of young black men have the propensity, and even some are older, to
mhm,
make children that they don't intend on taking care of,
mhm,
because they've never been taught or reinforced
mhm,
by anybody,
mhm,
father or mother, about being a husband,
mhm,
taking care of children, and what that looks like.
mhm,
But you hear tons of jokes about being a player,
mhm.
playing the field.
Exercising options.
Yeah, well, I guess exercising options, if you want to call it that,
Mhm.
and doing all of these other things that get you in trouble, but then you want to complain about child support.
Yeah. Or quality women. Because, see, a higher quality woman is not going to play with a guy who is not clear on where he wants to go in terms of a relationship, like the next steps that he wants to take in terms of a relationship, right? If he doesn't know that he is ready for marriage, or he doesn't feel like it's time for him to get married, or if he's wondering if he is seeking a long term commitment, like, let's just see where things go.
Right.
High quality women don't play that. Like, absolutely not. Okay. When I first met my husband, my first conversation with him was that I was interested in marriage. He like, hey, what's your name? Let me talk to you for a second. And I said, for what? Okay. Because I'm dating for marriage and I don't have time to be wasting on you or nobody else who is playing around. And he thought it was funny. Okay. But we were engaged. Okay. We were engaged. Okay. We were married within a year. Okay.
Okay.
And, you know, that's like really intentional about what it is that you want, and if you know how to like determine it, if you can see it in front of you, then you'll know, to move forward. But it's really important to know that these guys that you're interested in, or these guys that you are entertaining, that that they know that you have a goal in mind for your relationship status, and you can see that they can meet those goals, like you said, in terms of traditional family, fatherhood, leading the household, providing provision, providing security and legacy, all of that type of stuff. You want to make sure that those things are important to them and that they're interested in that. You still have to do your due diligence in seeing if you guys are compatible and stuff. But so many times we date guys for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months without even really knowing if they are interested in marriage. They might just be interested in friends or, you know,
Right.
something like that.
Or
And
some, or reinforcing a vague relationship. We just got this situation. We're not labeling it. We just kind of going with the flow. That to me is a time waster, because
take a
if a person really wants to be with you, they're going to commit. They're not going to play the games
hmm
of plan. With that, they're going to want to commit. They're going to want to be exclusive.
yep,
They're going to let you know that. But
you'll be able to tell right away.
yeah,
Like, if it's Monday ones, you'll be able to tell right away because they're not gonna let you go. They're not gonna, play the field. you know, let's be friends. Let's take it slow. Let's see where things go. The guys that are serious and really interested in long-term relationship and securing a woman, and they feel like you are that woman, they are not gonna let you go to the bathroom by yourself. Okay. They're gonna be right there by that door making sure that you don't need anything, right? I mean, I'm just joking like that, but
Yeah, I feel you.
they are right there. They wanna make
Right.
sure
Yeah,
that they don't lose
attentive.
sight of their good thing. Mm,
Right. Right. I agree. So I mean, it's a great conversation. I'm glad because I was actually getting ready to go to bed, and
mm,
then I ran across. I said, "Oh, let me see what's going on with the live streaming." But it's a lot of playing around in our community when it comes to this, and I think that um when it comes to the the low rate of marriage in our community,
mhm,
when it comes to the fact that there's a lot of women that are not being married
mhm,
that should be married.
mhm,
I think that I think the statistic for women being married is like what 20, it's like 20% or 25%, 30%, somewhere between that 20 to 30%.
yeah,
That is far too low um for any group of people. And there are a lot of eligible women
mhm,
that are just not married and they're wondering why. Matter of fact, just while I'm thinking about this, I remember I was on another panel. This was probably about a year and a half ago. It
mhm,
was a doctor that this platform. There was a doctor that would come on all the time, and she would talk about a lot of different stuff. She was actually a gynecologist,
mhm,
and I think she lived in Chicago.
mhm,
And she, as a successful black woman, a doctor, she's like, I think at now she's like in her early, I want to say early 40s, maybe 41, 42,
mhm,
and she has never been married.
mhm,
And she struggled, and there's a lot of black women who struggle with not figuring out why I'm not married.
mhm,
Like, what is it? And I'm like this, and what I tell women like this is that, listen, just because you're not married doesn't mean that you have to be married, nor does it mean that you just lower standards if you haven't met the right person.
mhm,
And a lot of women, and this is something we hadn't talked about, but I know we're talking about, they will have a tendency out of frustration to let their guard down on certain important,
mhm,
highly important things or standards that can lead to something disastrous happening, by the fact of thinking that maybe I need to let go of certain things in order to allow to meet this person, or to have men more interested in me, or seek that. And really, you don't. I think that if that man is really meant for you and so forth, and you have realistic standards that are appropriate for any relationship,
mhm,
that person will respect that, and also be willing to adhere to that, to be with you.
mhm,
But I know Kevin uses the term danger zone and stuff like that. I
mhm,
think that's a little sophomoric to say that, but
mhm,
I do think that um, when a there's a healthy percentage of women, when they get, I think, over the age of maybe 35,
mhm,
they start to somewhat panic, and they start to in some way let go of certain things, and to be honest with you, in doing that, you're kind of increasing the chances of you getting with guys that you're not necessarily, maybe should not be dating, or maybe not meant for you. So I just think that sometimes it's just a matter of um putting yourself in the right place, and just being um you know kind of standing on your ground, on what you want.
mhm,
And when it happens. I mean, I've seen people get married in their 50s, 60s. I mean, I'm not saying I don't wish that anybody get married
yeah,
that late, but I would rather you get married later in your life with the
mhm,
right person in a positive relationship,
mhm,
as opposed to you hurrying up and getting married to somebody that is not for you, and you having one or two or more divorces.
mhm. Or you know what else? Even D Darrell, um, passing out a whole bunch of coochie coupons. Okay, thinking that that is gonna secure you your man. You know, it's like a lot of women have been taught or told or whatever, especially more recent, that we have to give so much of ourselves in order to get the commitment from the man. But a man that is commitment minded is going to give you commitment first so that you know that it's safe to give, right? So that
Right,
you know that you can begin to relax and release without fear of being done wrong or used or manipulated or whatever.
right,
He's going to
right,
give you real quality security, in so many different ways up front, just to let that this is a real thing and we're about to do this thing together. So when you meet a guy and he wants to know what you're offering, not necessarily in terms of money, but if you are gonna give him that intimacy within 3 dates, what you're hey verbal, thank you for coming, girl. Okay. Um, if you're going to give him that intimacy right away, if you're going to cook for him, if you're going to let him come over, if you're going to let him, do all of these things right away, know then that that's not a commitment minded person, because that commitment minded person is going to lay all his cards out on the table and let you know that it's safe for you to, you know, consider trusting me and trusting the plan and us doing this thing together. Like he will make you feel safe and secure and give to you first before ever requiring you to give to him first. But let me get into this a little bit and tell me, Darrell, what you think about this. That I know, Gigi, and see that was that. Now that's what they said last week. You remember they were saying high quality men are getting all of wait, these women of other races and white women are getting all of the men because they know how to have good sex. And I'm thinking, what? We've been having good sex for a long time, and all we got is 72% babies born out of wedlock. What are you talking about? And it was at that moment that I just encouraged them. Y'all go ahead. If y'all
man.
feel like that is what will secure your man, then by all means, go sex them up, because the men that are looking for something more significant and wanting something more substantial than, some sex on a platter right away, we need to make sure that those men are readily identifiable and available for a good quality woman. The whole little lay your sex out thing is crazy. And yeah, they do say that, Jess, that the Asian women are more submissive. It's just a whole bunch of stuff.
And that's not true. This whole thing about black women being less submissive than other women is just not true.
Mhm,
It's not. And my thing is that I counsel couples of all races, white, Hispanic, Asian, and they all have, it's no different. They're white men complaining about white women not being submissive. That's I've had all races of men, and I've been in the field. I've been for over counseling for over almost 20 years,
mhm,
and I have seen men and women of all races with the same problems.
mhm,
And black women are no more or no less submissive than any woman.
mhm,
The issue is that we have a set of circumstances that I think are unique to us. So it gives the appearance that that black women appear because of your communication style and so quote unquote stereotypical behaviors. But when you look at how black women that are married that function in effective relationships,
mhm,
they are just as submissive as any other group of people, group of women. They
mhm,
are. That's just a fallacy. And
mhm,
and the thing about it is, like, say for instance, you brought up the Asian community, and the complaint that I've seen with Asian men is that a lot of Asian women do start off being ultra submissive, but they don't. They that gradually goes away. They
Mhm,
don't. That's not something that they carry on. This is from Asian men that I've spoken to, and in a professional setting.
mhm,
They start off ultra submissive, but they're not that. It's not that they don't continue to be submissive,
mhm,
but it's almost like they start off a way to bait you in, and then gradually they start being less and less over time.
mhm,
And that's the complaint that Asian men complain about with Asian women. So every group of women has their own set of issues in relationships that's unique to them and their culture and the men that they have in their culture.
mhm.
That's it. It's really not a significant difference
Mhm.
at all. This
You
this
know
whole thing about foreign women, I
mhm,
mean, I, I hate to change. I don't want to change the topic, but with the foreign women thing and traveling here. I mean, these women are dirt poor, sleeping on floor mats and stuff. Like, I mean, if you show them something different that they've inspired, who wouldn't want to, play that role for that better life? I mean,
mhm,
that's the such thing as fake femininity. I mean that happens, and I think that for a lot of these guys, which many of them don't never really had real success at relationships, they
mhm,
don't really know the difference. So it's all the same. So
mhm. You know, one thing that I have learned over the years is that when a woman feels secure, when she feels loved, when she feels provided for, when she feels that like you without a shadow of a doubt like have her back, like you will get all the submission in the world, okay? Like you won't have any problem with this woman. But the more work that a woman has to do in the relationship, the more heavy lifting that she'll have to do. Whether that's emotionally, dealing with you in a bad attitude or financially, having to, take over 25, 35, 75% of the bills, having to do 100% of the child rearing, all of those things. Or let's talk about housework too. Her having to, even as a housewife that's not working, her having to, cook and clean every single thing and take care of the kids. The more like burden she has to bear, the less submissive she is.
right,
So
right.
we talk about those ladies that start off submissive and then kind of go into like their attitudes and stuff. To me, that's just showing that the husband has gotten relaxed and is not doing what he used to do to keep her in that place where she can be, more relaxed and carefree and giving. Women who are well taken care of, well watered, like they want to give everything to their man. Okay. I mean, it's not just sexually, but they want to be nice to be around. They want to have a pleasant attitude. They want to have a clean home. They want to have food cooked for you. But when those things are laid upon her as demands and she doesn't feel that she can find refuge or solace in you, then that's when that attitude comes out.
I agree.
Yeah.
I,
Let me
I,
let me let me get into this little thing right quick. Okay, so
sure.
I'm gonna read from the book because I think that there are some things that women can do early on that makes a man see you as low, like lower quality. Okay. And one of those things is is casual sex. So this whole little thing about 3 dates, of course, that's gonna be casual sex. Casual sex to me is any type of sex that you having without a ring. And even then, I'm still not having too much sex until we get this marriage, certificate signed, okay? Um, you know, I'm gonna give you a little slice, okay? But you ain't gonna get the whole woo wop until, you know, you know, to be honest, the whole enchilada doesn't come out, in my opinion, um, for a very long time, even after marriage. It is like something I like to describe it in my ladies' space. I like to describe it as a blossoming flower, right? A flower slowly blossoms and those petals slowly sprout out one by one. and bloom into a beautiful and delicate flower. In my opinion, that's how sex should be. Just because you're married don't mean you start swinging from the chandeliers. Like really give this guy, your husband, the opportunity to explore you and get to know you and, increase your feeling of safety and security with him and trust and all of those things. So for me, casual sex is anything before y'all engaged, okay? And still, even then, you know, ain't no sex on demand. Ain't no, oh, we engaged and now we about to be bumping, okay? You might get a little bit, but you ain't gonna get a lot of it, okay? But let's go into this. So I'm at the standards and expectations piece here, okay?
Hmm.
I'm gonna read. It says the game time phase. This is when first dates happen with your prospects. It is your only opportunity to make your standards and expectations clear to him. This is perhaps the most important phase of the plan. Women have secretly whispered that men are dumb for as far as long as I can remember. But are they really? I venture to say no. Many of their actions don't make sense to us, and it's sometimes difficult to understand their thought process. But one thing a man knows is how to detect a quality woman. When they aren't interested in quality women, they know how to steer clear of them. When they are ready for a quality woman, they know exactly how to determine if a woman is in fact higher quality. Um, as I mentioned earlier, women make a lot of unconscious mistakes that cause her to be viewed as unworthy. You want to come up, Buck City Kennels? If you do, the link is there. Oh, there it is. Oh, you made me click off my thing. Buck City. Okay. I hope that's what you were talking about. Buck City. Oh, did I do it? Okay. Oh, it's clicking. Okay. Um, so women make a lot of unconscious mistakes that causes her to be viewed as unworthy. She can be beautiful, smart, stable, fun, and still not be viewed as a higher quality woman by many men. And Darrell, you just talked about that. That some of these women are like great and still are securing those men that they are interested in.
Right.
Men can spend years trying to determine why men don't recognize the value she knows she carries. Often it's really minute things that cause a man to question who a woman is at her core. Men want a woman they can trust, a woman whose virtue they don't have to question, one they can be confident is theirs and only theirs. And one thing that makes a man question a woman's virtue is casual sex. Yes, casual sex. I know many women will not like to read this, but it's true. Men love a woman with standards and boundaries. Once they know you're once they know you are easily moved from those standards and boundaries, they feel you are likely to do anything. And while they may be very wrong, their ego won't allow them to trust you enough to find out. Men are deathly afraid of being cheated on or deceived. Most of us actually believe that men don't have emotions or feelings. However, that couldn't be farther from the truth. They want to know you are strong enough to stand your ground of dignity and respect. If you allow men to experience you without committing to you, without agreeing to protect and provide for you, even at a boyfriend slash fiance level, they feel you are open to the words or resources of every man. And this makes them feel uneasy about how you would behave in their absence. In this modern world of sexual liberation, perhaps the second mistake women make that causes men to see her as unworthy is displaying overt sexuality. This is talking about sex, the positions you like, the fantasies you have. Am I telling the truth, D. Darrell? Okay. The things you've enjoyed, experiments, or even agreeing with sexually overt actions of others. An example of this is Amber Rose's Slut Walk. It's fine if you support the premise of the walk and think it's a great idea. However, you wouldn't want to share your thoughts with a higher quality man. Most popular culture of present goes against what a higher quality man would like to see in a potential long-term companion. Vulgarity in any form is generally frowned upon by those men that will offer you the lifestyle you want. There are always exceptions to the rule. However, higher quality men secretly frown upon these things. Profanity also fits somewhere in this area as well. Higher quality men want to know you can converse without struggle against using inappropriate language. Also, you don't want to present yourself as too forward or too eager. As such, you want to make sure your attire has a subtle sexiness to it with a bit of class and elegance. Okay, so when
Hmm.
we talk about that's just a little bit about the game, the game plan that I created, and it speaks directly towards this idea about casual sex and thinking that casual sex is gonna hook a quality man in. Casual sex will get you the attention that you might want, right? It'll get you, some people ringing your phone, but in terms of people really like considering to include you in their lives and go the distance with you, it is one of the main things that will deter a quality man from you. So don't believe the hype, excuse me, that you need to be ready to be laying it out in 3 weeks or 3 dates, unless, well, it ain't no unless, okay? You need to be with a ring in your face, and you need to take that ring to the mall and make sure you have those diamonds tested. Okay, girl, make sure you have that gold,
You
that
capping
platinum
right now.
tested, okay, before you give up the goods, okay? Because he could have gone to Walmart and gotten that ring. You want to make sure that thing is authentic before you go ahead and lay it out like that. All right. I'm just trying to tell you because I don't want my girls to get got. Okay. Some guys move quicker than others, and guys that are traditionally like traditional minded and want a wife or want a woman or are ready to have children, might come to you in a month and say, I think that you are my wife and I'm interested in, seeing how you feel about that or popping up with a ring. Like that might actually happen. And that's kind of what separates, the game players from the guys who want to go ahead and secure you and lock you down. Anything short of that is a waste of time. Okay. So if on the third date he ain't popping up with some VVS ones, okay. Then don't be, giving us that. Okay.
But most but we have to be realistic. But I don't think majority of women probably would not marry somebody or accept that after 3 dates.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, but they might entertain the conversation. I know I would. I tell my girl
You
like,
would? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know many women that would entertain um outside of women from the maybe the Nation of Islam.
hmm
I don't know most women, most Christian women. I don't think they would do that.
let me tell you my thinking on it. Okay, I am a Christian. Okay, but I am really like grounded and guided by my own personal relationship with God and my own intuition. Okay, like I have done the work on myself, right? I can kind of sniff it out, sniff the BS out. So if you came to me after 3 dates, that might be a month and a half. And during this month and a half, I have been asking you some very strategic questions. I want to know about your mom and dad. I want to know about your childhood. I want to know about your future goals. I want to know about where you see yourself in 5 years. Like you said, I want to know about your stance on fatherhood. If you are interested in being a husband, do you have traditional values? What type of life do you want to provide for a wife? How do you see your family being raised? What is your spiritual compass? What do you believe in a religion? Like, I'm gonna get there in a month and a half. I'm not those one of those types of ladies that just go to the dinner to eat. Okay. I go to the dinner, okay? I'm on the dinner asking questions, okay? And not in an aggressive or masculine or, you know, assertive way, but we're having a conversation. And in this conversation, my next guide is probably going to be on questions. The next guide that I write is probably going to be on like asking questions, but um I'm gonna ask those questions to really determine if I need to see you again. Because if I'm dating with intentionality, if I know that I want to be married and I don't want to waste, 6 months on a guy, I want to know right away. Do you expect your wife to work? If you say that you want your wife to work and pay 50% of the bills, then I'm not gonna see you again. I don't Nope, I'm not. So we don't even gotta worry about a date number 2 or a date number 3, wherever this come from, whatever date we on, you don't gotta worry about seeing me again after that. If you think that I'm gonna be having kids with you and working and paying half of the bills, like, so when you ask those questions with intentionality and you know what you're looking for and you know what it looks like and you know what it sounds like, and you can see good faith efforts to kind of give you that security to know that it's safe for you to move forward in that. If you brought me a ring and said that you were interested in marriage and you wanted me to consider it, yes, I would take that ring because I need to take it to the mall anyway. It's real. You know what I'm saying? So yes, we take the ring. And if I change my mind, of course, I'll give you your ring back and I'll be all upfront about it. But I'm gonna give you a chance to prove yourself, okay? After you get this ring, now are you a hound dog? You trying to hit the sheets real hard? Like, what's going on now? Or are you talking to me about where would I like to live? How many bedrooms would I be interested? How many bedrooms would the house that I want have in it? Would it have a big backyard? Like asking me questions about our next steps. If you are talking like that and showing me properties that you are interested in purchasing or taking me on viewings to see a house that you would be interested in raising your family in or something like that, are we on to something? Okay. I think a lot of women are very apprehensive because they don't know what they're looking for. And they might allow some guys that are really serious minded and really looking for a wife and, ready to go right now. They might allow those guys to pass because of that it's too good to be true or it's too soon to consider type thing. When if you go into date one knowing what you want and knowing how to uncover it, you don't have to date for no 6 or 7 months before you would consider, an engagement. An engagement is something that you can break at any moment. So I don't know. I think that women need to take the time to do that introspective work, know who you are, know what you want, and be honest with yourself. And then start looking to see who is presenting themselves to you.
Hmm. Quite. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, or
Now,
some traditional woke girl. I don't play I don't play that.
to me, I do agree with your perspective of you're basically saying I'm dating to marry. I'm not, and this is something that I talked about. When I don't usually talk about when I do talk about relationships, I kind of talk about one of the biggest things is people just dating casually for fun and so forth, and in that they develop bad habits
Mhm.
in that can affect them once they find the right person,
Mhm.
those bad habits that they develop can be harmful for the relationship that they want to be in. And
Mhm.
I do think that in our culture, in our community, that we have a huge issue with just casually dating,
Mhm.
and pretending to be married or functioning like you're married but not married, and
Mhm.
things like that. And I do think that there needs to be a concerted effort to kind of not waste each other's time, and to, I'm not saying move at a fast pace,
Mhm.
but um to be objective in as far as what you're wanting, instead of waiting. Like I tell most people, I don't agree with people dating past 2 years, a year or two, without, if you're not married within a year or two, that person's probably not for you.
Yeah.
And the statistics really show, particularly after 2 to 3 years or so, when particularly when there's cohabitation with
Mhm.
one another without being married, the statistics of that is very, very low as far as those marriages working out. And I pretty much preach to people that within 6 to 10 months, um you should somewhat be maybe engaged or talking about it,
You
or
said how many?
within 6 to 12 months.
Okay.
You should have some basis of a proposal, talking marriage, or
Mhm.
kind of talking about the things that you just stated, such as where you want to live, stay, house thing, kind of those tangible things that make a family. Those should be conversations.
Mhm.
And because I mean, I understand for most people, they basically may, I mean, I don't know, you never talked about this, but I know for most relationships, particularly when they're doing premarital therapy and so forth,
Mhm.
they talk about being engaged, and then they wait 6 to 8 months to a year before they have the wedding. So
Mhm.
what is kind of your stance on as far as wedding? Because I understand for a lot of women, that's part of the delay,
Mhm.
as far as they want to get married, like due to the marriage and the wedding and so forth. They kind of that kind of delays a lot of people getting married within that early, because they want to wait so
Mhm.
many months to save up and do these different things and have a wedding and so forth. So
Mhm.
um what is your stance on that, being that you kind of know you wanted to go into the ceremonial aspect of it?
Mhm. For me, I think it depends on the woman and where she is in her life at the moment, right? So if you are over 30 and you are interested in having children and stuff, I don't know if you want to wait 2 or 3 years of engagement and wedding planning time. Um, I don't know if that's the best use of your time.
Right,
So I think it kind of depends on where you are. I mean, if you're 25 and you know that you want to have kids one day and all of this stuff, then maybe you can do, a 2-year engagement and have the wedding of your dreams. For me, my wedding is like, you know, very, very expensive. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So, some people, paying around 40,000 for a wedding,
right.
and that's a significant investment. And if
It
you
is.
want to commit to 2 years to save up the 40K, or whatever it might be, then by all means do it your own way. So from my perspective, it kind of depends on where you are. If you are an older woman, you're 40 plus, and you aren't interested in having children anymore, and you are engaged to be married and you want to have your dream wedding and stuff, then maybe you do want to do a 2 or 3 year engagement so that you can have that wedding that you dream of. um, but
That's long. That's a long time.
you said what?
2 to 3 year engagement is a long time.
I know, and for me, I don't play like that, so
That's a long time.
yeah,
You
that's
know,
just me. But I understand a woman's desire to have a big fancy wedding, so I don't know. I don't know. If you wanna put it on credit, you know what I'm saying? Get you a fiancé, they got a good credit score, so you can go ahead and run them cards up and, have the wedding that you want, but, for me, to be honest, um, I really was interested in, like, motherhood and stuff. So the fancy smancy $40,000 wedding wasn't, like, on my to-do list,
Hmm.
that's how much a wedding would cost that I would really wanna have. But I would like that for, maybe our vow renewal or something like that. I would be interested in. I wasn't gonna let my desire to have a top-notch wedding, override my desire to have, children and stuff. And time goes really fast after, 30, 32, 33. Like those years kind of fly by when you are thinking in terms of, carrying a child and, giving birth and all of that stuff. So, I guess it just depends on where you are and what you want, what your priorities are. But for women, like I really want us to think about life after the wedding, or life after, making the commitment to the marriage. Like you have time to get that 10 carat diamond. If your diamond is only 5 carats today, you have time 3, 4 years from now to get that 10 carat diamond. If your wedding was only, 15K, you have time for that $40,000 um renewal ceremony badge, so just don't get hung up on the lesser important things, and let that override your true goals for yourself and for your family and what he might be interested in for his family as well. And yeah, you could put that down on the home. And see, that's like one of the things I
True.
would be focusing on is I'm focusing on the business. We can party when we 5 years, 10 years, 15 years in. Birthday. I mean, the party don't stop, but I'm not gonna be over here like, no, I'm not gonna get married until we have a $50,000 wedding. Like, that ain't me. But if that's you, that's cool, but that's just not me. Is somebody Dr. Hood near you? I'm gonna bring him up. Um, and I know you were gonna say something. Hey, Dr. Hood near you. I know
Yo, what's going on?
everything is good. Thank you for joining us.
Now I was up in the chat earlier, but
Okay.
apparently this is the handle that they had when I hit the button from I was messing around with a couple partners on the internet.
Mhm.
But nah, I like y'all's conversation. I like to get in there, speak from a man's perspective, and just give a little different dialogue if I can, and learn about women, and maybe help y'all out on the way a man feels, and what we feel. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I feel like I've been through a lot, relationships, and everything. I'm 41 now,
Mhm.
so happily, in a relationship, ton of kids,
Mhm.
just living, just a happy life.
Mhm. Okay. Well, what else you gonna tell us? Are you married? And if so, I mean, if not, why not?
Well, my thing is this: marriage and commitment is two different things. You know what I'm saying? I've been with the woman that I'm with now, for forever. Uh, we had our times, finding out, what we want in life. I've been through my times, with my different careers and everything I've been involved with, in life. And me personally, I think people put too much value just on like this whole marriage thing. Like, I mean, it's just a marriage license, like
No,
what's
it's
what,
actually more than just a marriage license.
I
It's
know,
legacy.
be the real. I'm all up on the
but
computer
that
screen,
it,
like, huh?
well, I tell you this.
Mhm.
Me and mine, we've been together, I want to say 20 years,
What? And y'all ain't
And
married.
that's my thing. See, you can't just judge. You see
I
what I'm
No,
ain't,
saying?
nobody's judging,
I'm not judging.
who's going to make decisions for you if you get sick?
Hmm.
Listen, listen.
Who's going to make decisions for you when you get if you get sick?
It's already established. You know,
Established by what?
I come
By the
from a
law?
big I come from a big family.
No, no,
You know,
that's not the question. That's not the. I asked you a simple question. Who is going to make decisions for you if you get sick?
my family will make decisions for me.
So the woman you're with is not going to make those decisions for you.
She's considered my family.
No,
So
she by law she is not your family.
listen, I mean, your
No,
situation, you
I'm
might got a
trying.
different
No,
situation.
no, I'm telling you the law.
I'm not listen, I'm not against marriage. You know, as a matter of fact, I think I probably will just go ahead and do that. And I've been through that, conversation about, who gets, when you're sick and all. I've been through that. But I'm not against that. I just think people put too much value on it instead of the actual bond, you
Wait, hold
know.
on once. Let me ask you this, doctor. You said that you probably will go ahead and do that. Are you saying like you probably will go ahead and establish like a will, or
What?
you
Well, well, no. Go
get married?
get
About
a
marriage.
marriage license. Yeah, go down there and get a marriage. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
it's actually more than just that. We have to stop doing this in our community. See, Goldie, this is the reason why.
oh,
This is the reason why.
Now, take it
okay,
easy,
This
doctor.
is why
Let's get some
this is one of the
dialogue.
reasons why we have a low marriage rate. We have, and there's a lot. And look, brother, I'm not judging you on your relationship because I got tons of
you can't.
people.
My relationship's great.
No,
I feel
I
like
didn't. No,
my
let
relationship's
me
better than
finish, brother.
90% of the
Hold
people
on, wait,
married.
wait.
You know what I'm
Can I
saying?
finish? In our community, okay, there's a high level of cohabitation amongst people who are 10, 15, 20, 25. Matter of fact, I had a cousin of mine that was with a guy for 33 years. Married. I mean, they was cohabitating for 33 years, had a house together, um,
Kids together.
had a couple of kids. They had kids and everything, and he had kids outside of before they got together. But you know what? When he died, it was a big mess. And if they were married, a lot of those issues would have been alleviated. And
Yeah.
and to
Like
me,
what though? Like what?
like property, like his 401k, his stocks, all the assets.
Materialistic things.
But
Right.
those
Yes, that's
are
and
important.
Okay.
materialistic things are important.
Okay.
Those things are important. Love is great, but there's more to a marriage than love,
Right.
and so forth. And to me, what we're not looking at, and this is the issue that we have, is that other communities that are doing way better than us, they value marriage, and they're not practicing these types of behaviors as it relates to relationships.
Yeah,
And,
they're
and
practicing divorces and stuff like
yeah,
that.
but
You
they're
know what I'm
still
saying?
functioning. But they're still
And
functioning. Hold on,
complaining
wait,
about being
yeah,
locked
but they're
into
functioning.
situations
But they're fun.
and money.
But they're functioning under the umbrella of marriage, which means everybody's in a family unit under the same home,
Right.
and so forth. And you're not getting that. And the thing about it, I'm not saying your relationship is not successful, because obviously it is, because you're happy. But
Mhm.
what I'm telling you is
I
that,
couldn't be more happy.
but
You know what I'm saying?
exactly, but what I'm saying is that when you look at the totality of people that practice that, that's not the case. It usually disastrous. There's usually people leaving. There's usually, whenever something crisis happens, we certain things can't be accounted for,
Mhm.
and so forth, and it doesn't end well a lot most of the
Other
time.
than the crisis part, I totally disagree because it's like, I mean, you're not tied down. You're not tied down. If you want to be with somebody, or if you don't want to be with somebody, being able to walk is the most healthy thing to do. You see what I'm saying?
Well, then you shouldn't be with somebody. If you're thinking that, you shouldn't be with them for
No,
40 years.
no, you can't just think that somebody's think. I'm just basically
We just
uh
giving hypotheticals.
I can't get up on here and just sit up here and lie and say I'm married. You know, I honestly feel like my relationship's better than 90% of the people that I see married, bro. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like
well,
this is straight up.
but 90% of the people you see is not as much as 90 or
Well,
100%
I
of the
know
people you don't see.
I'm a small percentage, very, very small percentage. I'm just saying, I think people put too much value on the actual, let's tie this knot, let's get legally bonded together,
Yes,
rather than the actual elements of life that bring you together organically. That's what I'm saying.
our community is suffering from that mindset because we're not putting enough value in
How?
marriage
How?
because we're at the
I think our
bottom of
community is,
everything.
but I
We're at
think,
the bottom.
but
Black
that's not
women.
where I
Hold on,
think
wait
we're
a minute, brother.
suffering
Black
at though.
women are suffering financially because of not having men. Children are suffering financially.
but that's not from
That is
trying to
all due
find
to lack of
organic,
family
but
situation.
that's not from trying to find
Yes, it is.
organic
It is because
bonds
you know
though.
what happened?
It's from rushing. It's
I'm gonna
from
tell.
rushing. I'm gonna tell
Listen,
you what it
brother,
is. It's from
brother, listen.
rushing things. It's from
Because
rushing
these men are
things.
because there's a lot of men that are not showing commitment. They are leaving freely, just
How
like you talked
how
about.
are you
That's
not
why we have
showing
so many. That's why we
commitment?
have so
Like,
many
you
single
How are you
mothers
know what,
because
how
we
are
guys?
have
you
black
not
men who are
showing
not willing to
commitment?
Y'all
have
know what?
commitment and
Well,
be
no,
committed to
really.
people.
I mean,
They're
Hold
freely
on, guys.
leaving.
let's
Hold
be
on.
real.
Can
Let's be
y'all hear
real.
me? Wait. Wait.
This
It's a
whole
Wait,
go to the
recipe for
hold on,
courthouse
disaster.
little
thing.
Mary. Hold on for
Let's
1 second. Hold on. Okay. Because thank y'all so much for giving me a chance to jump in here. I don't want you to feel attacked, Dr. Hood
now.
here.
I love getting attacked. Trust me, I
Okay,
love
but
it.
listen, for me, it's important that people around me don't feel attacked, okay? So I want to make sure that you don't feel attacked, and I want to make sure that you are able to share freely without, like talking over each other, right? So I just want to pause for a second so that we can kind of reset the conversation. I want you to go ahead and um, finish saying what you were saying, but I also wanted to ask you if your lady has spoken to you about wanting to be married. Like, has she mentioned that to you? And if so, what do you think and how do you feel about that? And if not, do you think that that's something that deep down she really wants? I also wanted to ask you, how do you feel about your children being born out of wedlock? Even though you're there, y'all all in the same house together and you take care of them, and that's admirable and everything. How do you feel about them not being born in a wedlock?
Hey, what was the kings and queens of ancient Egypt, and like what were they doing? Were they going down to the courthouse, or was it, this is my lady, I love this lady, she knows how I feel about her, we built a whole life together. You see what I'm saying? I'm not talking about some, you know, and it's just based off of, I trust this woman. I don't need no type of prenups and all of this. If she wants to leave, she's not tied down to me. You see what I'm saying? We're together because we
But y'all
want to be together.
neither one
It's
of
not,
y'all seem like y'all want to leave each other.
we're not gonna leave each other.
Okay,
I
so
was
why
just
are
answering your
you
question
interested in?
truthfully, just to get on your show. You was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
well, are you married? I'm
yeah.
like, well, no.
I
Technically
appreciate
I'm not,
it,
but if the
but why
time was
not?
right, let's say my bag was right enough to basically fuck off, like you guys were just talking about. I wouldn't go the 50,000 route, or but even 10 or whatever. To me, this it's pointless. Like you said, you could put that on a down payment on a business or something. You know what I'm saying? So uh I would like to have a celebration. I think I'm a pillar. I grew to be like a pillar in my family, and I think it'll be a very nice celebration. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna make all the excuses
Hmm.
why I haven't. I'm just saying that a lot of people focus more on, all this paperwork and crap instead of actually getting to know somebody and loving somebody and wanting to build with somebody. You know, that's my point. You know,
You know what? As a woman, I'm gonna tell you because you didn't answer the question about if she wants to get married and how you think she would feel about it. But as a woman, I feel differently. Like in terms when it comes to like the part of intimacy and everything, um, with a husband than I felt before without a husband. And I know that like y'all together and y'all love each other and all of that type of stuff. But knowing um that I'm connected to him in this way, that no other woman can be connected to him at this moment. You understand what I'm saying?
a
Or
piece of paper though. Come on.
it's not a piece of paper.
It is though. It
Okay,
is.
hold on.
Like what is different? That's what I'm saying.
I can tell.
So
You know what's
so if I
different?
go if I go
I can
down
tell
there
you what's
tomorrow,
different.
what is different? That's my
I
point.
can tell you what's different. You want to know what's different? Want me to tell you what's different
No,
about it?
I'm listening, brother. I'm listening.
Okay. Number one, you're legally binded together. Number two, your assets from a financial standpoint. You don't have to go through succession or anything if something happens. You all can sign and do things and build wealth quicker. Taxes.
Yeah,
When you file your taxes, you pay less tax, you get tax breaks for this. Number one, you also providing a better example, not only for your children to understand that marriage is also what could not be a better sign of commitment than something signifying that legally and so forth. And then your children also encompass that same value system of understanding that marriage is a part of your culture, of how you do things. You don't just randomly just be with someone like that unaccounted for years, no matter how well that is.
That's what
Think
people are
about it. You
doing
both can
though. That's
simply
what
just
people are
leave
doing.
each other.
I'm hearing like
we,
I've been
we, we,
checking
we,
out these
we-
platforms too now.
our community is practicing what you're doing right now, and we're failing. We're already doing what you're talking about, and we're failing at it.
I don't really see us committing to each other. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I
What,
disagree.
what you
Like you're
mean? What do
you're
you mean you don't see you committing?
like I don't. I don't. Like
Well,
marriage
what,
ain't
you've
it
been with
don't
her for
mean you're
20
committed.
years.
And what does that mean? That
You've
that
been
I'm
you've been
any that I'm any less committed?
brother. Yes,
That
you
that I'm
are. You
any
are
less
less
committed?
committed. You are less
Come on,
committed
man.
because you seem to have a level of anxiety about signing a paper that signifies you legally being binded together.
No, no, I said people put more focus, more energy into that than actually finding that somebody that's right.
Our community doesn't do that, brother, because our community is
How?
not getting married. Our community is not doing that.
Our community is getting into these
No,
relationships,
our community is not married.
not having no
We
type of bond.
29% of
They're
us are
they're
getting
they're they're,
married.
me- they're messing with dudes for the wrong reasons, for money, all
Brother,
this
brother,
materialistic
you're not
stuff.
listening to me. Our community is not getting married. So you can't use that premise when I can see if 50 or over 50% of us was getting married and then
Oh,
we got divorced, it's 29%. So we're not getting married.
so the ones that are they putting more focus on that ring or trying to get these
It's
statistics right?
29%.
You see what I'm saying? So you want
It's
to get the
it's 29,
statistics right
brother.
more than
It's
get the
29%.
relationship right. That's it's
Brother,
cool.
it's only 29%. That's low. That's the lowest of any other group. We're failing.
Hey,
he still didn't answer me though, D. Darrell. Does your woman want to be married? And how
I want to be married. I want to be married. So I'm sure she does.
you don't talk to her about it?
I mean, what's there to talk about? What's there to
Getting
talk
married,
about?
Yeah, and going to the
get
courthouse.
going to courthouse and get married.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Go to the courthouse.
I'm gonna say this. I've been married. I've been married for almost 17 years. We didn't have a wedding. We basically went to the courthouse and got married.
Mhm.
That's what we did.
That's
And
a marriage, you know.
and we've been married for 17 years.
so how long were you together before you got married?
Before we got married, we were together for 7 years. And the reason why we were together that long is because we were dating in high school. That was my high school sweetheart. I was dating her since I was 16. So while we were dating, I made a goal for myself that I didn't want to be married until after I finished my educational endeavors. So once I completed my bachelor's and my master's degree at about around 24, 25, then I decided to get married.
Then you have kids after or before?
No, we had two kids before we got married and one kid after.
Mm.
Hey, that sounds like a beautiful story, man. It's very inspiring. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what my point was. I'm not trying to advocate for guys that don't get married or look at these statistics. I'm just saying, because I this is what I hear, that people, they're finding the wrong guy, and you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I hear.
But that's
Yeah,
not
You
but but
know,
but but if these guys are not married minded and they just want to basically be with you for a short
but
time.
you just can't jump. Like, I'm hearing, oh, if the guy don't the third date, and I'm hearing all this stuff. Or
you got
after
what
Come,
six
come,
months,
come on,
if
bro.
he's after 6 months, if he's not talking about marriage, then like
Yes, guys
sometimes
should
it
be.
takes 6 months
Yes,
just to
no, it doesn't. It don't
see
take
this
that long.
motherfucker angry.
It don't
You
take
know what
that
I'm
long.
saying? Like, let me see how this motherfucker
No,
is angry.
it don't take
You
that
know what I'm
long,
saying?
brother.
yeah, so
What it is that in our culture, and this is the problem in our culture bullshit around too much. Where you just chilling, talking about irrelevant things and having fun without getting to know each other. And then 3 to 6 to 8 months down the line, you realize that you wasted your time with somebody that's not for you. And then in that time, you develop bad habits of communication.
Or good
Uh,
ones. You know what I'm saying? Some of these relationships, and like, people might look at them as failure, but a lot of people learn from different relationships that they're in. You see what I'm saying?
okay, yeah, but
So
you're
so it's
learning,
not
but
always a bad
you're
thing.
learning. You're learning from mistakes that you made that also could in some sense negatively affect somebody else. You don't need a lot of relationships to learn how to be in a relationship. What I think is important, that you have a certain uh set of personality attributes and a mindset and certain things that you bring to the table to be in appropriate relationships. Because when you look at other communities, they don't they I mean, outside of maybe the white community and it's like Asian community and so forth, they don't date around like this.
mm-mm.
They
I
don't.
mean, I don't really look at that, so I can't really
Yeah,
speak on
but
that.
see, you have to look at the people who are doing things better than us and looking at what we're doing wrong, because what we're doing is wrong, because we're going about doing things. Matter of fact, we're doing things now that we weren't even doing pre desegregation. We wasn't even doing that then. But at that time, back in those days, you had to go through somebody's father, and you had shotgun marriages. You got somebody pregnant. There wasn't no woman getting pregnant, three different men, three children for three different men. You got one woman pregnant, you getting married. Period.
Yeah, you're right.
I
But
mean, so
that
I'm not
led
saying
to a
I'm
lot
not
of
saying we got to be
toxic
that extreme.
shit. I mean,
I'm not saying
like
to be that.
my parents were, and I'm not saying I'm scarred from this, but my parents, they say they love each other. They remarried, but growing up, like, them was the most fighting individuals. You know what I'm saying? And it's because they listened to their parents, and she got pregnant and got married, and you know what I'm saying. But I'm surprised they didn't down there kill each other. You see what I'm saying? So I understand you in these statistics and shit, but I think there's a bigger issue. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
And what is that?
Then, well, if you want to talk about the black community, let's
No, no.
let's get.
What's the bigger issue?
I just don't think. I think the tension span and just people aren't. It's not like old school. Like, I'm 40, 41. It was a little different. Like, my girl, I had to actually call the house phone and talk to her dad, and soften up my voice a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just to
So
get
how
her
does
on the
your dad
phone.
feel about you not marrying her after all of this time?
I bet you they feel I'm great. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we
No,
built a
be honest. If
uh
you had to talk to her dad and soften your voice up,
yeah,
you mean to tell
she
me that
wouldn't.
he is okay with you playing around? Well, not playing around,
I'm not playing
not making
around.
his
Like,
his daughter
you
happy
talking about,
every 20 years?
legacy. Like, we got 5 kids. Like, this is a legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, rather if we married or not.
No,
Like
it
I
doesn't
said, I feel
matter.
like I'm better than I can go get married tomorrow. These other motherfuckers can't get what I got tomorrow. You see what I'm saying?
But
go and get
Do,
married
do, do
then.
you do you see do you see
don't
do you
all want
see what
the
I'm
same
saying
last
though?
name?
Do you see
I
what I'm
mean,
saying
I
though?
hear what you're saying in theory. In terms
So don't put all that effort into that before you get somebody that's gonna be there like this. You see what I'm
okay,
saying?
It's
look,
20 years, bro.
Okay.
but you can
Hey,
still be there for 20 years.
but that
And
I've been there. We've been through roads and bump. It wasn't always easy. Like right now, I got the big crib, and like right, equity went up in the last 2.5 years. We're feeling real good right now, but it wasn't always easy. Like
let
we
me ask
had
you this.
kids. Like
Let
we
me
got
ask
we got a 17-year-old. You see what I'm
okay,
saying?
let me
So
ask you this.
this
Number
wasn't
one,
always easy.
let me ask you this. Number one, don't you want to don't you want to don't you want your lady to have the same last name as you and your children? And number two, um, are you afraid of divorce or losing things? It seems like
No, no way.
to me, let me tell you what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that you are like operating in fear, right?
No,
Y'all been together
no.
for wait, hold on once. Y'all been together for 20 years and y'all love each other and y'all got this, what you were saying. But
Right, right.
you keep saying that the reason why you aren't married is because you want to be able to walk away easily if y'all
No,
do
no. I
decide to.
said that by us not being that way, we could easily walk away without that. I didn't say I'm talking about this bond. That's what I'm promoting right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about this bond. Like I said, I
Yeah.
can go get married next week. My situation, I'm not even gonna get into it. You know what I'm saying?
What
But
do you be cheating, Hood near? You seem like you be cheating. That's
nah,
what
no way. Nah.
I
I mean,
think.
I lived that life. I already lived that life. You see what I'm saying? So nah, not right now. No,
Okay.
not at
So
all.
so don't you want your woman to have the same last name as you and your babies?
Like I said, I could do that tomorrow.
Well,
Now,
why
can
not?
Well,
can
why
can
not?
these can these other marriages that are already
Don't think about them.
married
I'm
get this
asking you.
bond tomorrow?
I'm
No.
asking you.
But
Don't think about other
you
people.
got to understand, everybody has a different bond. Just because you have a certain bond, other people require certain
That's
things.
why I said I'm a small mass majority. I mean, minimum. You know what I'm saying? I'm a small minimum
What you're
of
saying,
everything.
what I'm hearing from you is that you don't respect the institution of marriage.
Well, I really don't. I'm starting not to respect any of this white stuff. You know what I'm
What?
saying?
How is
The what?
These
White
holidays
stuff?
and
What white
everything.
stuff?
Hey, all this courthouse stuff, the black man didn't make that up.
Brother,
So you
okay, let me ask
you
you
could
this.
you could think you
Wait,
could think he
wait a minute.
did. You could
Wait a minute. Wait,
listen,
stop,
you could
brother.
think he did
Brother, stop.
all you want, bro.
Let me go. Okay, I hear what you're saying. I've heard this before.
So I'm kind
Yeah,
of
yeah. It's
disgusted
not
with the
our
whole
system,
white man supremacy type of
brother.
system, bro.
Brother,
Really, you
don't
know?
you know? In other cultures before we came here, even though they may have not had paperwork,
Exactly.
they had ceremony
Right.
that
So
was based in their culture that was sufficient. Okay,
right.
but we're not operating in those cultures, so you cannot try to live
So
in
so
the
we're
context.
so we're
Oh,
so we're
wait. Let
operating
me
by
say
the
this,
American, just a regular,
brother.
American
We're not in those cultures.
gumbo of cultures.
Brother.
I get it.
But we're not in that culture. We're not operating in those
I
cultures.
that's why I'm not totally against it, but I am kind of like thrown off. It wasn't like back in the day, how you thought things were supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And then, you get here and then you see all of this and all this scrummaging and over
Brother,
everything. It's
if your
it's
wife
just
was,
pointless.
if your woman was good enough for you to have 5 children before she's good enough to be married.
I mean, that's good for
Period.
views and likes. It is
No, that's
like
just
what
the
you're
truth.
saying.
That's just the truth.
No, she is good enough for
So
marriage. That's
you should give her that.
No, listen, you
No,
guys
you
introduced
should
me.
give her
Listen,
that.
listen,
She deserves,
and
your
I
wife
will,
deserves to be,
and
your woman
I will
deserves to
though,
be married, and
and
you
I
refuse
will
to
though.
give that to her.
No,
No,
people refuse.
you're refusing to give your wife the distinction that she deserves, and that's your last name and her to be called Mrs. So and so.
Right. And
That's
I
a
and I
difference.
can and I can do that tomorrow. And
Do it. Well, do it.
these broken marriages,
No,
everybody in
nobody don't. Why are you
the
worried about other people's marriage?
the
Why
divorce
are you
line,
worried,
the
brother?
divorce line is
Brother,
the
you should not
divorce
be worried,
line is longer than the
brother.
unemployment
Brother,
line
you
right
should not
now.
be worried about nobody else's
Okay.
marriage. Nobody
Y'all
else's
been going
marriage is
crazy anyway.
relative to what you have.
Y'all
You should be
been
focusing
Right.
on
And
y'all.
nobody else is
years.
bond. So why even bother? Why not just introduce me? I'm not gonna sit up here and lie like I'm not married. You know what I'm saying? And then let's get on to the bread and potatoes. You know what I'm
Let me
saying?
ask you this, doctor. Does she call you her boyfriend, or does she call you like what does she introduce you as? Her man or her boyfriend? Or
Man,
does
that
she
that's
call you
that's
her
my that's
husband?
my other half, period. Rather what you guys could think on this internet shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, hood, we are not thinking anything.
That she
Like,
thinks of me as her king. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm in her fucking phone as. You know what I'm saying?
okay, but when
So
she introduced you to other people, what does she say?
what do you mean? I'm her fucking husband. What do you mean?
Okay.
She's my wife. Like, what are you talking about? Just
Are you
because I don't
calling
go
your
to
wife?
court and just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I done seen too much of it, man. I done seen too many people. They're advocating about marriage and shit, but they don't got one lick of a bond
If y'all don't
that's
stop.
worth anything. You got,
Yeah, and you don't have one lick of a marriage certificate that's not worth anything.
hey, if that's the way you feel,
No, I'm just saying the facts. I mean, brother, you cannot
it's
come.
not it's not everything though. See, that's what
It's.
people
I'm gonna say
see,
this,
and that
man.
man,
Marriage is vital.
getting to know
Marriage is
the
vital in
opposite.
any civilized society.
And we don't and
Marriage
we
is
don't
vital.
spend enough time
This whole thing about
getting to
doing
know each other. We don't.
undocumented. See, this is a problem in our community, in which
Okay.
we think that everything that functions outside, we try to make excuses for doing the right thing because it's something that is what the white man created, and this and that. Every civilized
You
society in modern times, you can go to Africa, even though in ancient times they didn't do it. But you know what? If you go there now, I guarantee you're gonna have a marriage license. They're not doing this undocumented stuff that's outdated. The bottom line is that under record, you being connected to somebody, you have children, you do things, you build wealth together, you put things in the paper. The way you function to do those things are a lot easier when you have that as opposed to you not having it. This is
right.
facts.
And a real true bond is worth
The
more than
bond, that
everything
that
you just
bond,
said.
that bond can come
A
and go.
true bond is not gonna come and go, buddy.
What is that?
See
Yes, a true bond. A true
that
bond
lets me
can
know
come and go.
that you
A
don't have
true
a true
a
bond.
true bond can come and go.
If you're
All
married,
bonds don't
if
stay the
your
same.
marriage wasn't there, you would she be gone, buddy.
No,
You
brother,
know,
a true bond,
there's
brother.
been
Listen,
times
brother,
where
a
she
true
wanted
bond
to
can
leave
come and go.
you, but she couldn't because
A
she's
a
trapped in
true
this
bond,
marriage.
how you feel
And
about
that's a
somebody can
fact.
change,
Since you
and
know everything
it can
about
change.
me,
It can
we know
change.
everything about you too.
No, I'm just telling you.
It can change. Okay.
But
Yeah, it can change.
And
those
you're married, and it could change when you're married and you're trapped. See, that's
No,
the
I'm not trapped.
difference.
No, no.
Well, what are you gonna do then?
I'm
What are you
functioning
gonna do?
I'm functioning under the confines of the marriage, and I can't just easily leave. That's the
Right.
difference. Because you know
Exactly.
why? I have
So
responsibilities.
it could be
I have
abusive,
responsibilities, and
verbally
I'm accountable
abusive,
for other
or
people.
whatever,
And
and it's
see,
not a
this is the
strong
problem.
bond's not there because
See,
that's
Goldie,
not the
this is the
most
problem with
important
a lot
thing
of
to you.
black men in our community.
It's not.
They don't want to commit to
It's
anything
not.
that's worth committing. This is the problem.
I'm at home.
We're playing
I'm
around.
at home. I just cooked.
We're playing
You
around
know
with
what I'm
women.
saying?
We're
Listen,
creating children out of wedlock. We got these kids growing up without fathers. These guys are coming and going and creating what the cesspool that we have now.
my kids is
Th-
upstairs, man.
that
So
that's what's wrong with the black community.
I understand the statistics that you dug up.
No,
I
I'm not
understand
digging
that.
anything. That's an
I
observable fact.
understand it.
You don't need statistics to observe. You go into any hood or any black community and you don't see the men being there doing in leadership.
My
You can
listen,
go, you can just walk and see that.
the people that I bump shoulders with, we're heavily trying to change that narrative that you got. We're trying to change that. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, don't put that it's that bond, that I can
What
get
is the
along with
bond?
this person.
You
I
keep
can
talking
work with
about
this
the
person.
bond. What is that? Tell me what that is.
Getting to know somebody. You know what I'm saying?
20 years.
She just talked
Actually
about that.
liking this person. You see what I'm saying? Like a
She,
lot of people, all these relationships and stuff, and then Nick, every Thanksgiving, new man, new girlfriend, you know, that's because you're not taking the time out to talk to him for a year. Why not?
Goldie
Why
just
not
talked
talk
about
to
that.
him for a year without giving up the cookies? Like we're
Goldie
talking
just
about 3 days.
Goldie just talked about that, brother.
Well,
Before you came in.
that's what I'm promoting. You know what I'm saying? I'm promoting people actually finding
Did you
that
wait a
that they
year?
can work together.
Did you wait a whole year?
I did. I waited 2 years. I waited 2 years. I did.
I don't believe
I
you.
did.
I don't believe that.
I did. Now I wasn't abstinence from that, but that
Okay.
that was
Well, so that
that
means
was
you wasn't
my
even
listen.
committed to the person
No,
that
Oh,
you
he was
with.
cheating
that
it.
You
was
was getting
That
it
was
from
what
somewhere
you
else,
was
though.
cheating.
Okay.
well. I'm a man. I'm not gonna be a liar. I'm
A
a
man.
man. See,
That's not an excuse.
when I lie, I'm not. It's not no. I'm listen. I own up to my manhood. You know what I'm
So,
saying?
brother,
So
you're telling black
anything.
men, brother, you telling black men to wait, but why you wait? You cheating on her with somebody else.
What do you mean? Wait, I'm not just gonna press the issue.
Well, you said they should wait a year to get to know each other.
I didn't say. I said, what's wrong with that? I said, what
Yeah,
is
but
wrong
you
with
were
that?
cheating
And then you asked me, did I? How are you? For one, how are you cheating if you're just getting to know somebody?
because you just said that you was having sex with other women.
But and getting to know, so you got to be in a relationship to get to know somebody. Like what?
What's wrong with
I
that?
don't understand. I
What's
don't
wrong with that?
understand.
What D. Darrell was saying.
So you just can't get to know her and court her, take her out, and without having sex with her.
That's a
See
no,
that,
but you said,
that's
but
what's
you was
wrong.
brother, you
That's
was
what's
doing
wrong with
that,
the black
but you
community, bro.
wasn't
Like
exclusive.
you're talking about, bro.
Brother, you was not exclusive. You was not exclusive to her because you was doing that while you were getting it from other women.
But getting to know her. See, you're always
No,
focused. You're
no. But you
focusing on the
but
sexual act.
now
All you're
you
focusing on
deterring the
is
fact
the
that you were being with
sexual
multiple
act.
women. You was being a
No,
player, man. Stop.
all you're
Stop.
doing is focusing on
Stop,
the
brother.
sexual act. Now, rather
Because
if you're
that's important.
then getting to know people, how is sex more
Brother.
important than getting to know somebody?
Brother,
See, you don't
you
make
was
any
having
sense,
sex.
man.
Brother,
Can I
you
stop
was
y'all for one?
You don't
stop,
make
man.
any sense,
Brother,
man.
Can I
you're not
stop y'all
making
for one
sense.
second? I think the focus of the conversation is kind of being distorted just a little bit.
Yeah.
We are talking about you know, like the value of marriage and that whole thing. Like you waited for a year to be with her, but you still didn't marry her. And now 20 years later, and children later, and properties later, and all of these investments and business deals that y'all have together, you are still on the fence about marrying her. When you were
Mm-mm.
talking about um, that you don't think it's wise when people say within 6 months if they aren't talking about marriage, then leave him. The reason why women are in that mindset, 6 months to a year, no more than 2 years, is because they don't want to end up in a 20-year relationship with somebody that they love, that they have given kids to, and this man still does not see
If
any
that's the most important thing to her in life, then that's kind of shallow in
it's
my
not.
eye.
It's
If
one
that
of
if
That is
that
not
if that
shallow,
if
brother.
that right
That's part of
there,
culture.
if that right
That's
there is
part
the
of culture.
most damn important thing, rather than having a
Brother,
real
you trying to
provider and a
rationalize
protector,
why not to get
you
married.
guys.
No, brother, you trying to rationalize why you shouldn't
I'm
get
not
married.
rationalizing.
Yes, you are. You trying
I'm not.
you
No.
why are
What
you
I'm
afraid to
doing.
get married? Why are you
Listen,
afraid to get married to
listen.
somebody that you
This
have such a
started
close
off.
bond with?
I'm not.
You haven't done it.
Okay, why do I keep saying I'm not, and you keep, like, I'm
Because
not
you
afraid.
haven't
we
done
just
it.
want to understand why you haven't done
Listen, I don't think, just to answer you guys' questions truthfully, I don't think I should have to dig into my schedule to find, like, okay, well, I'm gonna get married on this day, or what I'm saying, like, there's a lot of things going on in the world that
Ain't
people got
We
going on.
talking about you and your family. We talking about the world.
Right. If time, probably,
No, you can prioritize
I
that.
say
You
about
can prioritize that. You don't have to
hopefully
wait.
hopefully next year,
Are you
if
serious?
God is willing, you see what I'm saying? I mean, you can joke, you know what I'm saying? It's not a
Brother, stop.
rush. It's just a
You
good
know what?
This
celebration
game,
to
this game, man.
bring
You
people
know what,
together.
Hood? Dr. Hood, I am going to get ready to shut it down. I'm gonna end the stream at 3 o'clock, but I want to go ahead and start wrapping up the conversation. So I want to thank you so much for joining the panel, for coming up and speaking to us and all of that stuff. And I want to encourage you to come back when we have another conversation.
Yeah, so I could get in on the beginning. We were just on the introduction, and then we had a
Right,
whole 30
right.
minute soliloquy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, and we talked about some of the stuff
I,
that
I
you.
got I got a lot to add to the combo besides, worried about my marital status. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I
yeah.
really do. I want to be able to put a couple jewels out there to the women and to the men and all of that too. So
Well, you know what? Before you go, let me hear one of them. What is a jewel that you would give to a woman before you go?
a jewel that I give to a woman.
Yeah, you said that you want to drop jewels to women and stuff. Just give me one before you go tonight.
Oh, hey, focus on something more than a relationship and love and romance and stuff like that. A lot of times you go listen to your iTunes right now, and you go listen to 10 female songs randomly, and that's all it is crying out and talking about that. Try to be more interesting and talk about stocks and business opportunities and deals, and that those are the things that interest men. Not sitting around crying about he dogged me, he did this. Love, love, love. Like that's all we hear from a woman. We want to know that you guys are something more than that. So yeah, that's my jewel for the day.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Doctor, for coming up. And I want you, I want to remind you to like come see us again, okay? When we have another open
Oh yeah,
panel.
and I'm gonna tap in. Hey, good to talk to you, D Daryl. It was
All
a
right,
good one.
brother.
It
It
was a
was it
good
was
one.
good rapping with you.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Talk to you soon. Um, well, that was good. We got to hear a different perspective.
Right.
Yeah, we got to hear a different perspective. But so we got about 13 minutes before we shut it down for tonight. Cause I'll be on here all night with y'all, even though I'm tired. Um, but you know what? If we could have a woman, a lady, come up if you feel comfortable and just share why marriage is important to you, I would like to hear from another woman why she would like to be married because I think that Doctor made some good points, about the fact that they have a good bond and all of that stuff. But for me, legal paperwork matters as well,
Right. My,
and
my,
being able to have
my, my,
that,
my my
huh?
thing with that, I'm gonna say this, Goldie. Like, there's so many people who claim they had these great bonds,
Hmm.
and then soon as something happens that involves, cause see, this is the thing. We're not when we're talking about marriage, and
Hmm.
this is what I was trying to convey to him is that I'm looking at the totality of not just you and the woman, but the children
Hmm.
and how you operate and function as a unit.
Hmm.
And it's not just this, this thing about the bond is just you just limiting this to you and your the lady you're with, but what about the children and them understanding how this family structure operates, and them and when they get old, they practice what they learned from you, and so on. And so I just think that it's toxic to have that state of mind because we're already practicing as a community what he's doing right now, and we're failing, and there's a lot of women and a lot of children living in fatherless and husbandless homes because of that,
Hmm.
because running this game on, well, we don't need this and we don't need that, that's the white man paperwork and this and that, and then when he wants to leave, he leaves, and then now you're mad. And
Hmm.
then, regardless, you can't run away from the paperwork. You're born. When you're born, you got a birth. Everybody has a birth certificate. You have the white man's birth certificate. You have a white man's driver's license. Okay, you went to college. You have a white man's certificate, degree, and
Hmm.
everything else. So what's wrong with having
Hello.
the paperwork? The marital paperwork, I don't get it.
Mhm.
Everything else is cool to get, but when it comes to the marriage paperwork, oh no, that's the white man. Like really? Like let's stop it with this, with the games. See, this is we need to have a real conversation.
Yeah.
We need to stop with this, man. Like this is the problem.
Mhm.
Well, we have allowed men in our community to run this game, and a lot of naive women have listened to it, and they find themselves 10, 15 years still wondering when they're gonna get married.
Mhm.
That's just the facts.
Yeah, you know what? But that's one of the things that I talk about is hey Mela, thank you so much for coming through. That's one of the things that I talk about is, you know, the quote unquote holding black men accountable thing. You know, I think that that the doctor has his own reasons why he feels justified in that. But for a woman, you know, he mentioned that she's probably interested in getting married, and he's probably interested in getting married, and he's created a whole life with somebody and spent 20 years with somebody and got 17-year-old kids and all of this type of stuff, and we still don't have the family secured, you know.
Nope.
And he like gave reasons which, you know, could sound like an excuse to somebody, you know,
Right.
as to why he's not doing it. And, you know, that's something that we, you know, really need to talk about. You know, I'm
Right.
sure if the woman could put a ring on his finger and go to the courthouse, you know, she would make their marriage, you know, secure and legal.
Let me.
But men in our community control the marriage. And
Yeah.
they can give us all of these reasons why using the white man and legal paperwork and don't have enough time in the schedule and don't have enough money to have the $50,000 wedding or whatever it might be. And, you know, the courthouse is available and is an option every day of the week except for holidays. You know,
Right.
so it's like I don't know.
Man.
When we
I'm
talk about holding men accountable and taking away excuses and stuff and lack of accountability, like men gonna have to be more honest and forthcoming and just
right.
acknowledge that they dropping the ball in so many different ways.
Yeah. Like this whole thing. This is a 40-year-old. Now I can understand a 20-year-old talking like this,
Mhm.
but a 40-year-old man with kids.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. That's a problem. But
Mhm.
see, I'm gonna give you a reason why I have the mindset because when I was 20, I didn't think I didn't really think about marriage being that important until I had my kids.
Mhm.
And once I got in my mid 20s, then I felt that it was incumbent upon me to get married.
Mhm.
But I have seen so many situations where people practice cohabitation,
Mhm.
common law, whatever.
Mhm.
And when that man dies,
Yep.
okay,
Mhm.
there's a kid that comes from nowhere that nobody knows that's entitled to almost everything everybody else
Yeah.
is trying to get.
Mhm.
I've seen things happen where um in situations like this, the guy may write a will and entitle everything to somebody that nobody knows, and
Mhm.
the family gets nothing. My
Mhm.
most extreme situation I had a family I was counseling. The guy died. His first daughter ended up getting everything that he had.
Mhm.
And the wife that he was with for 33 years and unmarried was homeless. Even the house that she was living in
Mhm.
with no her name not on it
Mhm.
belonged to her, and she kicked her out
Wow.
because of not being married on paper.
Mhm.
You
That paper
see,
matters.
hello?
I
Okay.
said that paper matters.
Yeah, that paper matters. And
Mhm.
so I don't want to hear anything about people saying it's just no, it doesn't, because see that lets me know you don't understand wealth building, you don't understand legacy, and
Mhm.
you don't understand putting your wife in a position to win when you're not here.
Mhm.
The biggest, if you love a person so much, you also want them to be able to not worry about nothing once you're not here. See,
Mhm.
that's part of you loving and caring about somebody if you're married, because you want your wife as a husband. I want my wife to be secure. If something happened to me tomorrow, my wife is going to be secure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's through the commitment of marriage. You want that for your wife,
Mm-hmm.
not creating obstacles now where she's struggling. We got to go through 2 years of succession or something legally to see how the assets are going to be. That's stressful.
It's
Why would you want to leave? Why would you want to put your wife through that, or your love, the one you claim you love and have a strong bond? Why would you want to put her through that?
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. Uncle Jerk. So Uncle Jerk been spending his time going to my other videos talking crazy, and then he'll come back to this live video and talk crazy some more. Right, Uncle Jerk, you got too much time on your hands. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You got all that energy. Well, D Durrell, it's 2:55, and
Hmm.
I'm getting so tired. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice.
Yeah, you are. I'm getting tired too. I'm about to lay
Mm,
it down.
yeah, but I am going live tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow at 1 p.m. I'll be live talking about vetting men. You know,
Okay.
this that would have been a good thing, or that might be a good thing for um for people to really think about, given what we heard tonight. We had somebody who waited a year and dated and stuff, and still didn't marry. So when we talk, see, I'm not making fun of him. Okay, I'm not like. Okay, I'm just saying that when we are vetting these men, we, like I was saying earlier, in my month and a half or whatever that might have been, I would have been all in Mr. Hood for you or whatever, in all up in his business. I ain't no way. I would have 20 years not knowing if this man was gonna marry me or not. Like I would
Right.
got to the bottom of that the first couple dates, okay? Um,
Right.
so we really need to know what kind of questions to ask and, really think about, people that we tie ourselves to. And a lot of times when we think in terms of running out of time, or we got to hurry up and get somebody, that's kind of how this stuff happened, because they were together for 2 years before um, she was pregnant with her first child, and for him, he's saying that people might want to leave or whatever, but maybe, just 2 years into their whatever they were doing, she was already trapped because she didn't want to raise the children alone.
Exactly.
And, because I truly believe that a lot of single mothers don't want to be, single mothers. If they had
Trust me,
a,
they don't.
a choice to like be
They want to
together,
be with somebody. They want to be married.
yeah, with the baby's father, they would do it. They would, weather the storm just to raise the children. So, that might have been her position, where 2 years into this whatever they doing, um, she finds herself pregnant and just feel like she's just gonna, stay in it until her children are adults or whatever. And, that's a sad and difficult position to be in. So we're gonna be talking about that winter is coming thing. The worst thing for
That sounds like something interesting.
yeah, because somebody be around here talking, just saying, giving crazy, crazy advice. The worst thing for a woman to do would be to find herself trapped in a 20-year relationship that only became a 20-year relationship because she ended up married a few years into it, without any guarantee that it would
Right,
result in a marriage. Like, could you imagine?
man.
You went through a time of cheating and everything, and this lady just here because she's trying to make sure that she can raise some kids with dad.
Nah, it's not a good predicament at all.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
But it's a lot. It's a lot of people that have that situation.
Mhm.
A
And
lot.
and that's what I'm saying with this whole 3 date thing, Angela. I got you. This whole little 3 date thing, like 3 dates, and you pumping and pumping, and what find yourself trapped, in a situation that you can't leave out of for the next 20 to 25 years. with no real comfort or security. You have given all of your youth away, all of your time and energy away to a man and his children,
It's 3 o'clock.
and don't have anything to show for it after 20 years just because you believe that 3 dates in you needed to be ready to bump it down. Okay. If you are comfortable enough or he feels comfortable enough to be intimate with you after 3 dates, he also needs to feel comfortable enough to have that ring and y'all handle y'all business after 3 dates. Okay. Like, don't get trapped years down the line and don't have much to show for it. All right. 3 dates equal a marriage. Oh, BMT, you late. Okay. We've been
He very late.
all right. We've been talking for 2.5 hours. You're gonna have to come start your stuff tomorrow, okay?
He said, "Hell no."
Right. Oh, but see, but 3 dates can equal some intimacy though, huh? BMT. Y'all fine with that, huh? But if BMT is so long winded, he's so long winded, I'm not even gonna get him started. Okay. But if 3 dates doesn't equal a marriage, then 3 dates doesn't equal anything else either. Okay. So
So,
anyway,
all
what
righty.
you gonna say, D?
I just want to say this is a very stimulating conversation. It's entertaining. I'm glad that the brother came up and said his piece and so forth. But it's going to be a lot of when you got a panel, you never know what somebody's going to come up and say. So that's the spontaneity of things. Things can just happen that way. So, but other than that, I look forward to it. You said 1 o'clock tomorrow. I'll probably come in probably around 1:30, something like that, maybe 30 minutes, depending on what my schedule looks like. But I'm gonna try to tap in between me working and so forth. So look forward to hearing from you tomorrow. So you have a great night.
All right, thank you so much. Didera, you should put your channel in the chat. So in case anybody wanna sub to you, they
I don't know if I can do it because I'm on my phone. My phone doesn't allow me to do it for some reason.
thank you, Danielle. Do you mind
Yeah,
if I do it, BMT? I mean, Didera.
that's pretty much it, Queen. You have a great night.
Okay, you too, all right?
Hmm.
All right. Okay. So y'all don't be ready to pop it off. BMT said that you don't need intimacy to have sex after 3 dates. Don't be popping it off after 3 dates under any circumstances, even if you got a ring. Okay. Like, no. Okay. Like, these guys need to work a little bit or else you'll be trapped for 20 years. Okay. Thank you, Woke, and thank you, Gigi. Um, BMT, elevate the conversation, okay? Let's elevate the discourse, okay? They they stay looking for the easy way out, okay? A way to get a little something and dash off. All right, thank you, Gigi. Y'all email me those ones that I asked to email me so that we can get our inner circle going. All right, and thank you, Jessica, for everything. And I will talk to you, Goldies, in the morning, in the afternoon. Okay, y'all have a good night. Bye.